Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, I invite you to meet a man who did not merely study the universe, he gave it a voice. A man who looked into the deepest darkness of space and returned with ideas so powerful that they reshaped how humanity understands existence itself. He spoke not in thunder or poetry, but in equations, curiosity, and an unshakable belief that the universe is meant to be understood by everyone. From the moment he entered the world of science, he asked questions most people never dare to ask. What happened before time began? Do black holes truly destroy everything they touch? Is the universe infinite, or does it have boundaries we cannot yet see? While others accepted mystery as an ending, he treated it as an invitation. To him, the unknown was not frightening, it was exciting. He explored places no human could ever travel, not with rockets or telescopes alone, but with the power of the human mind. He ventured beyond stars, beyond galaxies, into the fabric of space and time itself. Where the universe seemed silent, he listened. Where it appeared chaotic, he found order. And where people believed nothing could escape, he proved that even black holes have something to say. Yet what made him extraordinary was not just the brilliance of his discoveries, but his determination to share them. He refused to let science remain locked inside laboratories and universities. Instead, he translated the language of the cosmos into words the world could understand. He believed that if people could grasp the universe, even a little, they would see their own lives differently. Smaller in scale, yet infinitely more meaningful. While his mind traveled across the cosmos, his body faced challenges that would have silenced most people. His voice weakened, his movement slowed, but his ideas only grew stronger. In a world that often measures greatness by physical strength, he became living proof that the most powerful force on earth is thought. The universe could not intimidate him, and neither could human limitation. He reminded us that we are not separate from the cosmos. We are a part of it. The same laws that govern exploding stars and collapsing galaxies also shape our own existence. Every atom in our bodies was forged in the heart of ancient stars, and through his words, he made us feel that connection. Suddenly, science was not cold or distant, it was personal. More than anything, he taught us to remain curious, to look up at the night sky and ask questions, to challenge what we think we know, to understand that progress is born not from certainty but from wonder. He spoke for the universe, yes, but in doing so, he spoke for humanity's endless desire to understand its place within it. Ladies and gentlemen, his legacy is not only written in scientific papers or famous theories, it lives in every young mind that dares to ask why, in every person who believes that knowledge should be shared, and in every human who looks at the stars and feels both humble and inspired. The universe has many secrets, but through him, it found a voice, and that voice will echo forever. He dared to ask the biggest questions about time, space, and existence, questions that most of humanity had never imagined, and many were too afraid to confront. While science often advances by small, careful steps, his approach was bold and fearless. He looked at the universe not as a collection of isolated facts, but as a single grand story waiting to be understood. Questions like what existed before the beginning of time, whether the universe had an edge, or how reality behaves at its most extreme were not dismissed as impossible. Instead, he treated them as necessary, believing that the purpose of science was not comfort, but truth. At a time when many scientists focused on narrow, specialized problems, he chose to confront the deepest foundations of reality itself. He challenged the idea that time must always move forward, and questioned whether the laws of physics could break down under extreme conditions. By doing so, he pushed science into territory where mathematics, philosophy, and imagination met. These questions were not asked for fame or shock, but because he believed that understanding the universe at its roots would ultimately help humanity understand itself. What made his questioning revolutionary was his refusal to accept traditional boundaries. He did not believe that some questions were too big for human understanding. Instead, he argued that curiosity was the driving force behind every major leap in knowledge. Even when answers were incomplete or uncertain, he showed that asking the question itself could reshape how science thinks. His work encouraged scientists to think beyond what was observable and measurable at the moment, opening new paths for future discoveries. By daring to ask what others avoided, he redefined the role of a scientist. He showed that progress begins not with answers, but with the courage to question the very nature of reality itself. He revealed the hidden language of the universe by uncovering truths about black holes, space, and the origins of time itself. Where once black holes were thought to be silent prisons from which nothing could escape, he challenged that belief and showed that even these extreme objects follow deeper cosmic rules. By combining ideas from gravity, quantum theory, and thermodynamics, he transformed black holes from mysterious curiosities into powerful laboratories for understanding reality at its limits. This shift forced scientists to rethink how the universe behaves under the most extreme conditions imaginable. His work did more than explain exotic phenomena. It connected separate branches of physics into a single, more unified vision. Space and time were no longer passive backgrounds, but dynamic, evolving elements of the universe. He explored how the universe may have begun, not with clear certainty, but with bold models that questioned the very meaning of beginnings. In doing so, he opened new ways of thinking about creation without relying on speculation alone. By revealing the universe's underlying patterns, he gave scientists a deeper framework to explore questions once considered unreachable. His ideas became guideposts, shaping decades of research and reminding humanity that even the darkest corners of the cosmos are governed by laws waiting to be understood. He made the universe understandable to everyone by turning complex science into ideas the world could grasp. At a time when advanced physics was locked behind technical language and academic walls, he believed that knowledge lost its power if it could not be shared. He took concepts involving space, time, and cosmic origins and explained them in ways that invited curiosity rather than intimidation. Instead of simplifying the universe itself, he simplified the way it was communicated, trusting that ordinary people were capable of understanding extraordinary ideas. Through his words, the universe became a story rather than a formula. He spoke of time having a beginning, of stars being born and dying, and of humanity occupying a tiny yet meaningful place in an immense cosmos. This approach transformed science into a conversation with the public, not a lecture delivered from above. Millions who had never opened a physics textbook found themselves thinking about black holes and the fate of the universe. By making science accessible, he changed how society viewed scientists themselves. He proved that brilliance did not require obscurity, and that clarity was a form of respect for the audience. His work inspired people to see learning as a lifelong adventure, reminding the world that understanding the universe belongs to everyone, not just a chosen few. He proved that physical limitations can never restrict the power of the human mind or the reach of human thought. When his body gradually lost its strength and independence, many expected his scientific journey to slow or even end. Instead, his intellectual drive intensified. Faced with challenges that would have silenced most voices, he refused to surrender his curiosity or his purpose. His condition became not a boundary, but a backdrop against which the strength of his ideas shone even brighter. As his ability to move and speak diminished, his capacity to think, imagine, and explore remained limitless. He adapted, using technology to communicate and new methods to work, showing that creativity thrives when supported by determination. Each obstacle forced innovation, and each adaptation became a statement: the human mind is not confined by the body that carries it. His life challenged society's assumptions about disability, replacing pity with admiration and redefining what resilience truly means. Beyond science, his presence became a symbol of courage for millions around the world. He demonstrated that value is not measured by physical ability, but by contribution and insight. Students, researchers, and ordinary people drew strength from his persistence, realizing that their own limitations, whether physical, social, or emotional, did not define their potential. His journey sent a powerful message. Adversity does not diminish greatness, it reveals it. By continuing to explore the universe despite immense personal challenges, he transformed struggle into inspiration. He showed humanity that the greatest discoveries are not always made in perfect conditions, but in moments where determination refuses to yield to circumstance. He connected humanity to the cosmos by showing that we are not separate from the universe, but deeply a part of it. Through his ideas, the stars were no longer distant lights in the sky, they became our ancestors. He explained that the elements forming our bodies were created in the hearts of ancient stars, making every human life a continuation of a cosmic story billions of years in the making. This perspective transformed how people viewed their own existence, turning science into a source of awe rather than detachment. By linking human life to cosmic laws, he reminded us that the same principles governing galaxies and black holes also shape our everyday reality. Time, space, and matter were no longer abstract concepts but forces that influenced who we are and how we live. This connection fostered humility, showing how all we are in the vastness of the universe, yet also significance, because we are conscious participants within it. His vision encouraged people to look upward with wonder and inward with meaning. In understanding the universe, he showed that we also come closer to understanding ourselves. He inspired generations to remain curious, fearless, and driven to explore the unknown beyond accepted boundaries. His life and work sent a clear message. Progress begins when we refuse to accept ignorance as an ending. By constantly questioning what was believed to be settled, he encouraged people to challenge assumptions and view uncertainty not as failure, but as opportunity. Curiosity, in his view, was not a childish trait to outgrow, but the most powerful engine of human advancement. He showed that fear has no place in discovery. Whether facing the mysteries of the universe or the struggles of personal limitation, he approached both with calm determination and even humor. This attitude reshaped how people perceived exploration, not as a reckless pursuit, but as a brave and necessary act. Young scientists saw in him proof that daring ideas matter, while non-scientists learned that curiosity belongs to everyone, not just experts. His influence extended far beyond classrooms and laboratories. He became a cultural symbol of intellectual courage, reminding society that asking questions is a responsibility, not a luxury. He urged humanity to keep looking outward, even when answers seemed distant, and to keep thinking deeply, even when understanding felt incomplete. By encouraging exploration of the unknown, he helped shape a mindset that values learning over certainty and wonder over fear. Through his example, curiosity became an act of defiance against limits, and exploration became a shared human mission that continues long after his voice fell silent.